Today we're going to the Queen's Museum, but first I want to stop off in Flushing to get a bite to eat. Since Flushing is one neighborhood away, it makes sense to just stop here, eat something real quick, and then walk over to the museum, which is Willets Point. If anything, Flushing is known for its restaurants. Basically, we'd come here to eat and then go somewhere else. But there's plenty of places to eat. For example, you can eat there, or here, or here, or here. Wow, look at all these choices you have in Flushing. Or even here. But I've decided to come here. It's a new restaurant called Mr. Tofu. New Korean restaurant on the corner of Murray Street and Northern Boulevard. Mr. Tofu. Here's the address in case you want to come here and try the food out. Look at all the banchan that's come with the food. This is the sundugo. It was steaming really hard and we have to put now the egg. Here we have the egg. And there's somewhere. 어디 갔지? We're walking to the Queen's Museum over the bridge from Flushing into the stadium. We have some ways to go there. Over the beautiful smell of this little, I don't know, bay, harbor. Yeah. There's City Field. If you get off at Willets Point, you will see this wooden gangplank. And then you walk down this wooden gangplank over to the park. You're gonna see the train yards to your right. There's Arthur Ashe Stadium, tennis courts, and here's where they keep all the 7 trains. That's where all our money goes into. Our MTA tax money comes into storing all these trains instead of making them work in the subways. So we're at Flushing Meadows-Corona Park. It's actually really lovely, but the only thing is it's a pain in the ass getting here. Because you have to take a train, and then you have to go all the way to Flushing, and then you have to, but once you're here, it's great. I mean, look, bring your significant other, hold hands, and just walk along this way with all the trees in the shade. Just have that ring ready in your pocket because you'll be expecting something after a while of all this walking down this really, really long walkway here. This is my friend Joe. This guy is amazing because he's acting and he's also building his own tiny house. And he's moved out to the West Coast, California, to start on this tiny house thing in a lamb farm. Is that right? With a flock of sheep?
Sheep farm, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No.
We had about 160 sheep that we're taking care of.
Eeks! Can't even take care of one dog and 160 sheep. We're coming up on the globe. Wow! To the tune of Mr. Softy Ice Cream Truck, here is the globe of Flushing Meadows-Corona Park. With the globe! So what was that building in the background you were talking about behind that globe?
So famously, this was in, I think, the movie Men in Black. And those back there were the spaceships that the cockroach eventually got in and tried to fly away from Earth.
Those things behind the misty water things and the globe there?
Yeah, the kind of flying saucer looking thing.
We found the house. Queen's Museum is there. There. And to the right of it is the structure that we're really interested in, which is the tiny house. Yeah. And actually, Joe here has done the blueprint of it, or the white paper.
I wrote the white paper for the idea.
Uh-huh. See, blue paper, white paper, same difference. I don't know. I don't understand it. But
it's just a conceptual model.
So he has done the conceptual model of it for the building of this tiny house, which is sitting next to the Queen's Museum, which is right over there. Ah, there it is, there it is, there it is. Here's the tiny house. Seems to be made of good solid wood on the corners. Metal corrugate. Aluminum?
This here is rough cut lumber, and then this is like an aluminum roofing material. And they use this because it's extremely light and it goes up very quickly.
And this is quite large a structure. It looks small because of this dang little camera, but you see Joe there as a model. He's saying it's about 8 wide by 20 long. That thing is quite high, so be careful when you go through a highway or something, a freeway, because I think these things have a certain height allowance. So we've been invited to take a look inside the interiors of this tiny house. This is quite a large space for what it is. It really is.
Yeah, for being in the park and it is in this stuff.
I think I live in a cubbyhole smaller than this.
Yeah, in New York, a lot of people live in very small spaces, and this isn't that bad.
As an artist then, about the space, what do you think?
I think the space is really conducive to the work we do. It's actually pretty fancy. It has like this track lighting, air conditioning. And those are all pretty, roomy. I think the best thing for us about this space is that since all the work we do is participatory, this makes the interaction with the public a little more intimate, but it still doesn't feel like you're going into a building. It doesn't feel like you're going into an institutional space. It feels like you're still in the park. I think that's the key. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In terms of, let's say, what you wrote in the white paper thing?
Construction-wise, it's beautiful. It's perfect. It's like it's simple. It's easy. I think a good point of something is to like put it up fast. Put it up fast and put it up inexpensively, and they did that. I think they did it in maybe 3 months or something like that, which is very fast. And it's simple. There isn't a bunch of bells and whistles. This is very utilitarian, and in a way, anybody can move in, make it theirs, and then move out again. So it's as he was saying, it's like it's very inviting, and anybody can just come in and make it their own. And it's a blank canvas.
So our plan didn't work. We wanted to hijack this house because it was so cool, but we don't have a truck to latch that onto. We just took the subway and we kind of walked here, so big fail.
I'm strong enough. We're pretty strong.
That one there, not this one here. So unsuccessfully, we shall walk away from this endeavor and think of another way to somehow make do.
Perfect. Thank you, Patrick.
Fuck, I missed all that. Damn it. That's great. What a beautiful park this is.
It really is, isn't it?
It's such a beautiful park because we have trucks like that.
Oh yeah. Watering the pavement.
Watering the pavement, exactly. Thank you, Mr. Truck. You make our sidewalks look great.